Hello and welcome to this week's Wild Spirits News. I'm Sibylle and your mission today is to learn what to do when time gets away from you. I have to admit that I'm one of these people myself, and I hear it a lot from my clients and especially from creative types. They say, well, if I calculate how much time I spend at work, sleeping, doing housework, looking after my family, or whatever it is, there should be several hours left every day to prioritize my passion, to do what lights me up. But I never seem to have much time for that. I don't know how this happens. It's like time is, on paper, it looks completely different than in reality. And in fact, there are things that you can do about it, but first of all you need to understand how this happens, why time gets away from you, and how you can actually use this for in service of pursuing your passion and living your purpose. Your first task is to realize that you're not lazy. There are a few things that are as universal as this. Practically every client that comes to me says, "Oh, I'm lazy." I used to think that of myself. So yes, it is rather universal. People think because they don't get things done that they want to get done, they may want to learn a new language, they may want to pursue their passion, have more time to do what lights them up. They have all sorts of things that they want to do and they never get to them, and realize that they should have the time for it mathematically, and so they conclude, I must just be lazy. And of course, there are other times when we find ourselves just watching something on Netflix rather than being productive, or scrolling through social media, or just slouching on the couch and telling ourselves, I'll get up in 5 minutes and then I'll do some, I'll really get up in 5 minutes. No, it's another 10 minutes. Just, you probably, I hope you know, because I can't possibly be the only one. And honestly, from my clients, I know that I'm not the only one. So this is something that happens to a lot of us. And we conclude that we're lazy. Not so. It does not mean that you're lazy. What it means is if you find yourself scrolling through social media or watching Netflix, then that means that you are in a state of overload. Human beings are not meant to be productive every minute of every day. We all have a lot on our plates already. We are rushing around to make a living, to make ends meet, to look after our families, to look after ourselves. I don't even have a family, but even looking after myself is a lot. And working and finding the meaning and trying to pursue passions and all these things, and being healthy. And life has become so much more fast-paced. There are actually studies about this. This is science. It has been found out that people have so many more things to hold in their minds at the same time than they had, let's say, 200 or 300 years ago, that it's utterly exhausting. And it is that mental exhaustion. We no longer work back-breaking work on the fields or have laundry day, which was back-breaking work too before washing machines were invented a measly few decades ago. That's no longer our exhaustion. Our exhaustion is mental. It's what we have in our heads that makes us shut down and just suddenly stare at Facebook again, or still half an hour later, or just want to sit down and watch a movie and just do something mindless and waste away our time, as we call it. You do need downtime. That is a fact. And you are not lazy for needing downtime. The challenge is to find out how to use this better, but we'll get to that in a minute. And the other reason why people think they're lazy is that if they're creative types, and they think, oh yeah, I want to write something, and they end up just reading stuff or making notes or writing something completely different, dropping the project, the novel that they're writing on, and just starting to write a short story. Or you're painting something and suddenly you want to do sketches about something completely different. So this is this idling, this distraction, this fooling around. People see this as laziness as well. And you have to recognize that that is not laziness either, because especially for a creative type, this is part of creativity. And so is daydreaming, just sitting around. That happens to me. I just zone out somewhere, or when I'm on a bus or on a train or on a plane, I often zone out for hours, and then suddenly it's like so much time has passed and I haven't done anything I don't have anything to show for it, but in my head a process has taken place. And this is a gestation process which is absolutely vital for creativity. Your second task is called use your patterns. Well, what does that mean? I just described some patterns. For example, watching Netflix or scrolling through social media or doing things that you classify as lazy. I want you to eliminate the word lazy from your vocabulary, because I can guarantee that you are not lazy. If you find yourself doing these things, distracting things, things that are just mindless things, this is a big sign that you need more rest. You have mental overload. And stop comparing yourself. I've done this a lot. I have a sister with 3 children who she brought up on her own for a long time, and had a job and had the household and managed everything, and managed to go running in the mornings and keep herself healthy. And I was struggling to even feed myself on some days. Do you know what? People are different. People have different needs, and people have different abilities, and people have different mind processes. Do not compare yourself. You're not in anybody else's head. You're only in your own head. And if you need a lot of downtime and don't get it, you will start scrolling through social media or just watching endless series on TV or on Netflix and not do anything productive. If you find yourself doing that, find another way of having downtime. Just don't do anything. Allow yourself to watch a series for a certain time, and then do something else that rests you. Take naps, sleep longer. Find out what you actually need. Start meditation, do a yoga class, do something for yourself that is actual self-care. Get time away from your family, away from your kids. As much as you love them, you need some time on your own. Learn to create those spaces for yourself so you won't have to escape into these mindless activities anymore. And if you're prone to the other thing that I mentioned, this creative idling, use this to your advantage. Stop beating yourself up about it. This is a good thing. Allow yourself the time for it. And if you're a creative, then learn to schedule in time for just wool gathering, just thinking of things, or just scribbling, or just typing something, or reading somewhere, or on the internet. It can even be on the internet. I know an artist who gets most of her inspiration by being on Pinterest. And that's inspiration in terms of colors and patterns and all these things. The way your creative mind works is your own, it's unique, and you should stop judging it as something bad. Creativity is never just, okay, it's 8 o'clock, I'm sitting down and now I'm painting a painting, and at 10 o'clock I'm looking at the watch again, and then I get up and do something else. That's not how it works. You need to incorporate these so-called fruitless periods. From the outside, they look like you're not actually being productive, but these are a vital part of the process. You need to recognize that, stop beating yourself up for it, and stop, I'm saying it again, stop calling yourself lazy, and learn to embrace this and use it for your own advantage. Your third task is, as usual, to let me know. What do you think about this? Do you think you're lazy? Does time get away from you? What have you learned from this video? Hit the reply button and let me know. And if you didn't get the link to this video in an email, that means you're not part of the Wild Spirits community yet, and you should join us. Go to wildspiritscoaching.com and fill in the little form there. You will receive 1 email per week. It's 100% spam free. You'll get a lot of extra information, recommendations of books and other resources, and sometimes you'll get exclusive offers that only my subscribers ever get, that nobody else gets to see. So go to wildspiritscoaching.com and sign up, or you could Google Wild Spirits Coaching. That'll get you to my website as well. Thank you for watching.